I know you love me, baby. Yeah, Slim, West, Young J, O, C, K, this right here is classic like a pair of
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha, and if this is your first time stopping by, please subscribe. So it is almost my birthday and I cannot believe that I'm turning 25. Like, that's actually insane to me. I remember being in middle school. I remember being in elementary school, being in the courtyard with my friends, being in high school. Like, I just remember all these moments in my life, and it's like, oh my gosh, 25 sounds so serious for no reason. Like, why does that sound so old? Like, I need to have my life together already. Like, my mom was 25 when she had my sister. Like, is that not crazy? Like, my mom was a whole married woman with a child at this age. But anyway, so my birthday's in a few days, so I was thinking of what kind of video I want to film leading up to it, and this is something I've always wanted to do, just like reflecting on the things that I experienced during a certain age. So I think 24 was very, like, I just learned a lot about myself during this year. It was so weird. Like, it was a lot of uncomfortable growth, but it was also necessary, I think. And yeah, it was just a very telling year. I don't know how to explain it. It's not even like it was so dramatic. I think it was just a lot of self-reflection during this year and just figuring out what I want to do with my life, what kind of person I want to be, like just everything you could think of. I just found myself constantly, like, the wheels were turning 24/7. There was just a lot of things shifting for me this year, so I'm really excited to film this video. So this is just a video really talking about the lessons that I learned at 24. Most of them I would say I've learned leading up to 24, but especially during this past year. And these lessons can apply to anyone, especially if you're in your 20s and you're just like me, lost. You're just going with the flow of life. This will hopefully be the perfect video for you. So I didn't just want to, you know, talk about the lessons. I also decided to try some new makeup products with you. So next week, like I said, is my birthday. So anytime my birthday is coming up, I always buy new makeup products because it's my birthday. So I want to try some of these new products out ahead of my birthday so I can, you know, hopefully do a good makeup look with it. Hopefully looks good in pictures, matches me. I have time to exchange it in case. So yeah, I'm gonna link everything down below. But yeah, I'm so excited to try these products. There's definitely some goodies in here. Okay, enough chit chat. We got a lot of things to get through, so let's begin this video. Okay, so I just lightly filled my brows in and put a little bit of this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter on, just to get, you know, the makeup started. But the first product I'm gonna use, which I'm very excited about, is the Anastasia Brow Freeze. The Brow Freeze Gel. So I use the e.l.f. version of this. I'm a big fan of a dupe. I do not really care about having the name brand version of things. Like, if the dupe works, I'm gonna use it. But I haven't wanted to try this because sometimes the original really is that good. That, like, as good as the dupe is, the original is still that girl, you know? So I didn't really want to try this. So it's in the shade Clear, so it just works for anyone. This is the packaging. I love how it looks. And then it just comes with this wand, almost like a mascara brush. So I really like how that actually looks. Let's try it out. So that's probably a lot of product. I do like that it goes on pretty much clear, because a lot of times a product will say that it's clear, but then it comes out like a little white or flaky. So I do like how thin the consistency of this is because it just glides on so smoothly. Okay, so the first point that I have to go through, I literally wrote down a whole list of things that I want to hit because I don't want to miss anything. But the first one is that no one's gonna give you the life that you want for yourself. And I think that's something I really had to fully understand this year. Like, no one is gonna come and give you, or no one has that vision that you have, if that makes sense. So you can't just say that you want something and then expect it to be handed to you. Like, and when I say you, I'm talking about me. Like, these are all things that I had to tell myself. Okay, so for example, if I'm like, I want to be on my fitness stuff this year, I want to hit the gym X amount of times a week, no one is gonna do that for me. Like, I have to be the one to say that I want to do this, but then also put the action behind it. So I realized a lot of the things that I say that I want, I wasn't fully putting the energy, the vim behind it, you know? Like, I wasn't fully taking control of that. I was just waiting for it to happen just because I wanted it to become true or wanted it to happen. And that's just not life. Like, the way life works, if you're not putting work into something, you're not gonna get it. So whatever that is, like, fitness is just an example I'm using because that's something that I know I've been working towards over the past year. But anything, like, for example, even starting this YouTube channel, I started it a couple of years ago, and for a long time I just kept saying I want to start a YouTube channel, but then I wasn't doing it. I wasn't taking the steps behind it. I wasn't figuring out what kind of software tools am I gonna need, what kind of camera can I start off with. I wasn't doing any of that, and because of that, I delayed so many years of content that I probably could have put out if I had just, you know, taken those first steps. So if you're someone who has an idea that you've been sitting on, it doesn't matter what it is, anything that you've been working towards, a goal that you've had for a long time, I'm telling you now, it's not gonna come true. Like, as badly as we want that to happen, like, we just want things to be, you know, dropped onto us, blessed onto us. It sadly doesn't work that way. We have to put the work behind it because we're literally the only ones in the way of those things happening. It's in no one's control but our own. So that is something that I definitely learned at 24. Also, this product is actually so good. Like, I put it on, it's drying now. Like, when it goes on, it's obviously very wet or like liquidy, but right now it's drying and it's giving me a very laminated, fluffy brow look, which is my favorite kind of brow look. So definitely think this is a great product. Do I think that it's extremely better than the e.l.f. one that I've been using? I don't think so, only because I'm also not really picky when it comes to brow pomades. But I think it's really good. Like, I actually love how fluffy and just smooth my brow looks right now. So I definitely would recommend it. But if you're someone who does want to save money, I'm telling you the e.l.f. one is so good. Okay, for my face base, I'm not going to use foundation today. I'm just going to use the Ami Colé Skin Tint. Only because the products that I'm trying out, like, none of them include a new face product. So I'm just going to use the one I'm most comfortable with. But yeah, I love this product. It's literally, like, I can't believe it's not even done because I use this so much. Like, do you just see how this blends right into your skin? Like, I always rave about this product. I was in Trader Joe's the other day and the worker there was asking me like what kind of products I was using, and I was literally spelling the name out for her so she could write it down because that's how much I use the Ami Colé Skin Tint. Like, I will put people on wherever I am in the street. I just think everyone needs to know about this product. It's just so good. Like, does that not look like my skin but just a little bit better? Okay, anyways, moving on to the next point. So the next lesson that I learned at 24 is that there's beauty in being alone. So I think a lot of times we have fear of being alone, and I'm not sure why we all have this fear that we're not gonna find the right friend group or the right significant other. Like, why do we have this fear at such a young age? I can't even tell you why. Like, there's just no need to be rushing the way that we do. I just think there's beauty in finding yourself, connecting with yourself. You don't always need to have someone to do things with or wait for someone to say yes to something before you take the leap. Like, take yourself out. So something I've been doing a lot at 24, I've just been prioritizing me time. So for example, I was doing a lot of bar classes this year because that's just where I felt at peace. Like, I don't know, just being in those classes, being, even though I was surrounded by other women for the most part, it was something that I was taking charge of for myself, and it just felt so good. So working out alone, taking walks, I love to read, so I'll just sometimes, you know, go in my corner, maybe at nighttime read my own book. I'll take walks, you can bike ride. Like, I just do a lot of things alone. I go shopping alone, take myself out to eat, like, just really connecting with myself. Also, journaling is a great way to just enjoy being alone because it's your time to reflect and think about the things that you want to work on. And sometimes not even writing things that are that deep, just writing things like, this is what I ate today and it tasted really good and I want to make it again tomorrow. Like, I don't know, just connecting with yourself and being comfortable with being alone, being comfortable in your own silence. I've learned that that is so important. Just going into yourself as a young woman, I really feel like it's important for us to learn how to be by ourselves because we also learn how to filter out the things that are not good for us. So when you're comfortable with being by yourself, you don't need to invite bad company, you don't need to settle, you don't need to compromise because you already know what you bring to the table. Like, you know, you have the personality, you know that you can enjoy your time by yourself, and you know that you don't need to depend on anyone. So that is such an important lesson that I learned this year. Just find time to disconnect from everyone and find those hobbies that only have to do with you, that don't involve anyone else, because I promise you, you're really all you need, at least at the core. Like, once you have that relationship with yourself, that is the most important thing. So I got a fresh new Charlotte Tilbury powder, which I don't think I could live without this powder at this point. I just haven't used anything that has made my skin look as amazing as this product has made my skin look. Like, it is just too good. This product is so good and it's worth every penny. Like, it's definitely expensive. It's not a cheap product, but there's a reason it's this price, I think, because it really does just work that well. So I got the shade 4 Deep, so that's actually their darkest shade, but I don't really use it as a face powder. I use it more under my eyes to set. So this is how it looks. Obviously it's much lighter than me, so yeah, again, I only use it under my eyes to pretty much just brighten up. And I can never get over the packaging. Like, this is just so pretty. It's shiny, it looks expensive. It is expensive. Yeah, I just like to put this under my eye, and do you see how that instantly brightens my eye up? It just makes it so smooth. Like, it makes me look like I'm filtered, and it's just so crazy to me that this powder can do that. Like, look at that. Look at the difference. Okay, so the next lesson I learned at 24, give grace to yourself like you would give to your friends. And I Ever since I adopted that mentality, I have been so much kinder to myself. So when our friends come to us with their problems or, you know, they're looking for advice, we give them advice with the utmost grace. We're typically kind, we're very understanding to them. We try to see where they went wrong, and yeah, we just give them a lot of grace, which is what you should do to your friends anyways. But for some reason, for example, when I make a mistake, I am not graceful at all to myself. Like, I'm just like, you should have known better. Why didn't you do this before? This is your fault. You're the only one to blame. Like, I'm just very mean to myself, and I think we're all victims of that. It's easy for us to say nice things to other people, but when we're speaking to ourselves, we're not as graceful at all. And I've realized that that is a huge problem, because how you speak to yourself, like, you speak to yourself more than anyone in your life is going to speak to you, if that makes sense. So if you're saying certain words to yourself, if you're putting yourself down, if you're not giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, how is that gonna eventually affect the confidence that you put out to the world, you know? I think the way we speak to ourselves is the first step to how others will treat us as well. So what you tolerate for yourself is just as important as what you tolerate for others. So if you wouldn't allow anyone to speak to you poorly, why are you allowing yourself to speak to yourself poorly? Like, I just think that it's so easy sometimes to be so rude to ourselves and to not give ourselves grace. And ever since I started speaking to myself the way I would speak to my friends, I noticed how much kinder I am to myself. So whenever I make a mistake, instead of saying you were wrong or you should have known better, it's like, okay, well, maybe I did wrong this time, but I could do better next time. Or I didn't know this, or I'm still learning and I'm still growing. There's just so many different ways you can go about it versus just going straight to attacking yourself, because I promise you that really gets you nowhere. And again, how we speak to ourselves, we're the ones who speak to ourselves the most on a daily basis. So it really does matter, the words that we're using, that the tone, anything like that. Just treat yourself the way you would treat your friends, and yeah, you'll definitely notice a difference in the kind of energy you're putting towards yourself. So I'm gonna put some color back in my face. So I'm using the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade 85 Espresso. And again, this is just one of those holy grail products that I just don't think I could live without now. Ever since I started using it, I just can't even look at another setting powder. Like, it is just so good, and it's also so affordable. I think it has to be like under $15 or somewhere around there. But yeah, it is such a good product, and I'm so excited because I officially bought my first Pat McGrath product. And I can't even believe it's the first one, because I have been fangirling over Pat McGrath for so long. I just love her makeup looks. Like, I truly think she's an artist, probably like the best makeup artist of our time. Like, did you see the Margiela show that she did? Like, did you see the looks, how it looks like porcelain glass doll? She is just so talented. So I've always known that I wanted to start building up her collection of products, because they're just quality, beautiful, pigmented, just everything you would want in a product. Definitely pricey, but it makes sense. Like, this is gonna be a product that's worth having in your collection. So I actually bought the bronzer. So originally I wanted to buy one of her eyeshadow palettes, but then I wanted to see what her complexion products look like, because I think that's also what she's very known for, just having products that are so beautiful on the skin. So I think it made sense for that to be the first thing that I tried. So this is her Divine Bronzer in Bronze Mahogany. So it is very chocolatey and pretty. I love the little crown on top of it. Y'all, I'm so sad. I really wanted this to work, but just looking at it, I don't really feel like it's much darker than my skin, so it doesn't really give, you know, a bronzy look. Like, I feel like it's looking more like a powder on me, which I'm so sad, because this was also like the darkest shade, I think, or maybe I have to go and check again. But yeah, I was excited, and it's like, I'm not really seeing, like, I think if it was more of a reddish tone. Right now, as you can see, it doesn't have a super red undertone, which on the website I felt like it kind of did, but it looks just more brown. So like, when I put it on, it pretty much matches my skin tone. That is very disappointing though. I was really hoping that I was gonna love this, but yeah, I feel like I'm better off returning this and maybe trying out a different bronzer, something that has a bit of a red undertone, because I do think that's what complements my skin the best. So ones that I've used in the past were like the Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami one. The Makeup by Mario also has a good one. I know the House Labs has a good one. Maybe I'll check that one out, but I'm sad. Like, I was so excited. Out of all the products, this is what I wanted to really love, and it didn't work out for me. So next lesson that I learned at 24, stop letting your achievements validate you. So that is something I've really had to come to terms with over the past year, or it's just something over time that I've been trying to get out of. And I think that really is a product of me being the child who was an overachiever and had the best grades and always got the best awards. Like, all of those things were great when I was a child. So, you know, when you get older and you're not getting validation in those kind of ways, like you're not getting the A pluses and you're not getting that validation from your teachers or your professors, I realized that when I left the school setting, it was very difficult for me to know when I was doing well because I wasn't really getting the validation in the way that I got it growing up. So I no longer have someone telling me, great, you did great on this, or you're the best of the best. No one's telling you those things when you're an adult. So for me, I started to spiral a bit because I'm just like, what am I doing? Am I on the right path? I just didn't have anything to guide me. And I realized it's not that I didn't have anything to guide me. I was just depending on validation to guide me. And I'm telling you right now, the quicker you realize that that is not the way you should live your life, the better. So something I've been actively practicing is validating myself. You know, just giving myself affirmations and those validations that I seek from others, not looking for it elsewhere, but looking for it within myself. So I tell myself that I'm creative, I'm smart, I'm beautiful. I tell myself those things because if I don't tell myself those things, I'm gonna go seek them elsewhere. And a lot of times you're not gonna get them in the form that you want them in, or at least in the best form. So yeah, that is something that I've been struggling with. I need to stop letting the things that I can do equate to my value, because the things that we can do all fluctuates. Like, how much you can put out depends on whatever circumstances you're in. So how tired I am, how much time I have, where my mental state is. So there's just no way for me to validate my whole existence on what I can produce. Like, that's just not realistic. Even with this channel, I've struggled with that a lot. Like, I was basically validating myself based on how much content I could put out. So if I don't put out a video this week, that must mean that I'm a loser, or I'm a failure, or whatever it is. And I realized that that was making me not enjoy the channel as much, because it no longer was a place for me to just have a creative outlet. It was now this validation for me to show that I can actually do something I put my mind to. And that's just so unrealistic. There's no reason why I should be validating my existence off of a number, off of an award, or whatever it is. Like, that's just not something I want to continue on for the rest of my 20s or for the rest of my life, really. I want to validate myself based on who I am as a person and not what I can put out into the world. So I'm just gonna use this Makeup by Mario bronzer because, yeah, that last bronzer was a fail. So I just want to put some color back into my face. So as you can see, this one is a little redder, so it does appear on my skin more. So I'm just gonna put that everywhere that I would typically put bronzer. And then I also just like to put it on my eyes. I'm usually messy with it because I feel like bronzer, like the messier I am with it, the more natural it looks. So I don't really bother, you know, being perfect. And I'm also going in with my Danessa Myricks blush. So this is the orange one. I think it's a shade Golden Hour. So it is so vibrant, but I love it because it just brings so much life to my face. So the next lesson that I learned at 24 is learn to be okay with people not liking you. And this really goes back to my last point of basically validating myself based off of my achievements. I also realized that growing up, I validated myself based on how many people liked me. Like, I definitely grew up being a people pleaser without even realizing it. I think it was just me being, you know, good at school and being the teacher's favorite, or being the good kid at home. Just constantly measuring my worth also by how many people liked me. And again, as you get older, you really start to realize how ridiculous all of that is. Like, there is no reason I should be validating myself based off of if a stranger likes me or someone that I don't know. Like, a lot of times these people aren't even thinking about you and the way that you're thinking about them. Everyone's absorbed in their own lives and everyone's worried about themselves. No one is honestly thinking about you. So for me to then base my value off of whether someone likes me, or whether my personality is digestible enough for someone, or whether did I smile enough, or did I say the right thing, no. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I think saying it out loud now, even like, it's almost funny to me because there's just no reason that I should be living my life that way. And again, it's not even intentional. I think I've just been programmed to think that way, just to always, you know, please every person, please the aunties, please the community, please your parents, please everyone. And there is some good in wanting to be liked. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When I put myself out there, when I portray a certain personality, I wouldn't want to put anything negative out there, because I do want people, like, I want to be a nice person, I want to be a good person. I don't even think that's what it is. But I think when I'm full on living my life for others, basically, like, that's where I went wrong in the past. Like, that is not what I want to do at 25. That's not what I want to do in the future. I'm no longer living my life based off of what others are going to think or whether they're going to be pleased, because I realize at the end of the day, there's always going to be someone who doesn't like you for no reason. Like, it could be for your race, it could be for the color of your skin, it could just be who you are. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Some people just don't like you, and that is perfectly fine. It has nothing to do with who you are as a person, or your personality, what you bring to the table, the kind of energy you put out into the world. It really has nothing to do with that. I think if people don't like you, that's okay. Like, you just have to live with that, breathe with it, and move on, and just continue living your life the best way that you can. And yeah, like, that's just something I am 100% doing this year. The next product that I'm trying, I literally put this in my cart as soon as I saw it on the website. Like, there's just no way that I was leaving without this product. So look at this highlighter. First of all, I haven't even used highlighter in so many years. Like, I can't even remember the last time I bought a highlighter. Like, I remember in high school days, even early college days, highlighter was a thing. Like, I used to put it all over my face, all over my eyes, under my eyebrow. Like, I was obsessed with it, and I don't know, I kind of just fell off after a while. I don't really care for highlighter anymore, but something about this pink shade just looks amazing. So this is from the Sephora collection. It's their colorful luminizer in the shade Pink Flash, and it is just so pretty. This product alone revived my love for highlighter. Like, I just saw it and it brought me back to the times where I used to be obsessed with highlighter. So I'm actually so excited to try this. So I specifically bought this color too because for my birthday I was thinking more of a pink vibe, so a pink outfit maybe, like just pink vibes. So I definitely feel like this product could look really good for that. So I'm just gonna dust this on. I feel like I have to probably come closer. Do you see that pink glow? Like, oh my god, that is so pretty, and it's actually very subtle, so you can play around with this. You don't have to put a bunch on. You can definitely build up how much you want to put on, but I just think this is actually so pretty. It just gives you the most subtle glow. Like, do you see the flash when I turn? Like, even over here, like, oh my god, this is so pretty. This has made me a highlighter believer again. Like, I just can't believe I've been going this long without it. It just looks so pretty, and I kind of just want to put it everywhere at this point. Like, now that I put a little bit on, I'm like, bring it all on. Like, this is so pretty. And it was also so affordable. Again, Sephora collection, I really feel like people sleep on Sephora collection. Like, I don't see a lot of people talking about it enough. You know, they go for the big name brands, which that's great too, but I definitely think the products that Sephora collection puts out, like, they're honestly just as good or even better than some of these high name brands. Like, this is just giving me the nicest glow. The next lesson that I learned at 24 is stop comparing yourself to others. And I think especially with social media, it is so easy for, at least for me, to look at what others are doing and think, because they're doing this, I should be doing this. So you'll see 24-year-olds on social media driving the nicest cars, talking about, I'm a first-time homeowner, all these really high achievements, which is great for them, but someone's journey is not yours. And I think that's something I've really had to learn for myself. I cannot be measuring my own success based off of what some stranger online is doing. So I've just been a lot more content with where I am and not rushing and realizing that good things do take time. So, you know, I'm gonna keep putting in the work, you know, to achieve whatever goals that I want to achieve, but I definitely don't want to be discouraged because someone else who has completely different life circumstances than me, who grew up differently than me, who is just different from me, period. You know, I just don't want to compare myself to them and then now convince myself that I'm not doing enough. My journey is going to be unique to me and your journey is going to be unique to you. So I think definitely don't fall into that trap. I know I have, but don't fall into the trap of, you know, measuring your own success based off of what some stranger is doing, because I promise you, you'll never be content with what is actually in front of you. And ever since I've been more appreciative and more patient with myself and just, you know, yeah, just appreciating what's in front of me, I think that has allowed me to be more grateful, thankful, and it's just making me realize that I'm doing a lot more than I'm giving myself credit for. So I'm gonna spray my face before I put mascara on. And this is with the Charlotte Tilbury one, by the way, the Airbrush Flawless one. I literally am obsessed with this. I have backup bottles in case it sells out for some reason. And I got this YSL mascara this past December when I went to Nordstrom. So they were giving away a big sample bag of products if you spent a certain amount of money. So I used this mascara last week for the first time and it's actually so good. Like, I think I would buy the full bottle of it, but it definitely pulls out a lot of products. So you just have to clean off a lot of it because it can get very, very messy. But once you put on, like, you know, 2 or 3 coats, it definitely brings your lashes out a lot. So, like, as you can see, I'm barely doing anything and it definitely is showing. So, and I don't usually mind if it's like really messy when I'm doing it because once it dries, I just put a Q-tip on it and clean up any of the extra mascara. But yeah, I kind of just let it get everywhere because I think that's how the mascara comes out looking the best. And as you can see, it's definitely elongating my lashes a lot, so. And I have very baby lashes, so any product that could bring my lashes out is a blessing. And then for the last new product that I bought for today, so this is the Tower 28. I think it's called the Milky Lip Jelly. So this is in the shade Almond, so I think it's like one of the darkest shades that they had. And I like glosses that are pretty nude on me because I just want something I could throw on anytime. So I'm using a dark lip liner. This is just the MAC Chestnut liner, just like a regular old chocolate brown liner. And I'm actually excited to try this because I've seen a lot of good reviews about it, so I'm hoping I'm not gonna be led astray. But yeah, this is the consistency of it. It pretty much is like a gloss, but people say that it doesn't feel sticky when you put it on, so let's see. Yeah. This doesn't even feel like a gloss. Like, I expected it to feel a lot stickier because when you pull it out, it definitely gives that sticky consistency that a gloss does. But when you put it on, it just feels very hydrating, very light. It's very easy to blend. Like, it doesn't give you like the really thick, sticky consistency that most glosses will give you. But then it also gives you such a nice natural shine. And this color is perfect for my skin tone. So it doesn't look too bright or looks like something I need to put a bunch of brown liner to make match to my skin. Like, it definitely just looks like a nude lip on me. And I'm just like, I can't believe I haven't been using this sooner. Like, I literally walk past this section every single time in Sephora. This is Tower 28. I think I said that already, but I walk past this brand section every single time and never have I thought, let me check them out. And I have been missing out because this is actually such a good product. Like, wow. Like, I think out of all the products that I used today, this has to be the one that surprised me the most because I just didn't know what to expect. And I just love how this feels on my lips. Like, oh my goodness. And also going back to what I said about the Anastasia brow gel, I definitely downplayed it because I'm looking now that it's fully dry. Like, look at my brow first of all, like full on laminated. And I'm rubbing it right now and it has not moved like at all. Like, it's just not moving. It literally feels like it's frozen into place. Like, I'm full on, like, nothing is moving. Okay, so maybe I should have given it a little bit longer before I gave my review because this is absolutely amazing. Like, I definitely see why people are obsessed with this product. I love my brow freeze from e.l.f., but I definitely don't think that it keeps my brows this frozen into place. This was only one light coat of it, by the way, and once it dried, like, it full on left my brows in place. Like, that is such a good product. I definitely recommend it. Yeah, so going back to the review, we love this product. Definitely one of my favorite brow freezes now because I just didn't think it was gonna leave my brows looking like this. Like, wow. Okay, I think I'm gonna go through only 2 more of my points here because I have so many that I could go through, but this video might just get too long if I do that. So the next one is stick to your boundaries even if it disappoints people. So that really, again, goes back to being the people pleaser. I think I have been victims of just doing things outside of my boundaries because I was afraid that it was gonna upset someone, or I was afraid it wasn't gonna, like, they weren't gonna be happy with it. And in the end, you're the only one who's gonna suffer. Like, I promise, you think that pleasing that person is maybe gonna make you happy in the end, and it really isn't, because now you've crossed your own boundaries. So there's no way that person is gonna take your boundaries seriously because they don't even see that you take it seriously. So I think that's something that I have had to learn the hard way. If you have expectations that you have for yourself or for others, please stick to them. And if you do break them, don't let it be because you wanted to please someone else. Break them because you feel like you're willing to bend or you're willing to do whatever, but never because it's to please someone else. Because I promise you, in the end, you're gonna be left feeling like you basically compromise something that's really important to you for someone else, and that is not a good feeling at all, and it truly gets you nowhere. It truly gets no one anywhere. And that's all basically just to say, keep standing on business. Don't break your boundaries for anyone because there's a reason you said it in the first place. And the last lesson that I learned this year, which I think is probably my favorite one too, is push yourself out of your comfort zone and say yes to everything. Like, please, I promise you that is truly the key to finding new experiences, finding new people. So I know something that I've been saying is that it's so hard to make friends in my 20s. I think throughout our entire lives, we made friends either through school, after school programs, college, you know, clubs, like things like that. That's how we made friends growing up. So now that we're in the adult world and we just work all day, 9 to 5, we come home, we're tired. It's just so hard to meet people. And I've been struggling with that because I'm someone who loves meeting new people. I love trying new experiences. I never like feeling like I'm stagnant. So I've been having this crisis for the past year or two where it's like, okay, I've left undergrad. What now? Like, where do I go to get these new experiences that used to just come to me all the time? So I've been very intentional with saying yes to everything. So I remember this year, someone from my Instagram, we went to school together, she was mentioning starting a book club, which I thought about it for a second and I almost talked myself out of doing it because I was like, oh, maybe you don't have enough time or, you know, a million reasons. And before I even got there, I just said, you know what, I'll join. Like, I didn't even give myself the chance to doubt or make excuses. I just said no because this is truly my year of saying yes to everything. So that's something that I made a pact with myself when I started 24 or at the new year last year. Like, I was like, you're saying yes to everything. And because of that, I've had so many adventures. I've had so many new experiences. I've just done things that I never would have done if I had been my normal self who's just so quick to talk myself out of doing things. So I definitely recommend having that mentality with yourself, like just saying yes to everything, because sometimes experiences will be bad. Like, there are things that I said yes to that I don't necessarily regret saying yes to, but I was just like, yeah, never again, literally never doing that again. No one could even pay me to do that, but that's okay because some of those experiences, or even most of them, are not going to be bad. They're actually going to be the things that you remember forever. So they're going to lead you to meeting friends that you never thought you would meet, or, you know, getting a job that you never thought you would get because you just went on and applied for something that maybe was not what you would typically go for, but you just thought, why not? I'm gonna do this. So yeah, I'm just all for trying new things and meeting new people this year. So even the other day, I put it in my last vlog, but I went to this thing called the Brooklyn Yearbook. So it was for taking headshots, but it was also a social mixer. So I met so many amazing women there. It was so fun speaking with them. Like, these are women that I would love to continue to get to know and maybe even build friendships on. And again, I would have never met them if I never went to these kind of events. So even when I went there, I pushed myself to walk up to people and say hi, like, this is my name, and, you know, like, just asking people about themselves and not being scared or not letting fear take over, just going for it and seeing where it landed. And 10 out of 10 times, everyone there had the same kind of fears. Like, they were scared to walk up to people and they didn't know how to speak to people. So you taking that first step and just speaking to someone or introducing yourself a lot of times could lead to amazing friendships or just good experiences in general. So yeah, that's something I really, really want to do this year. Just constantly putting myself out there, not shying away from trying new things. And yeah, like, who knows where it could lead. Like, hopefully 25 is going to be a beautiful year for me. It's going to be filled with so many blessings and so many experiences, and I am not going to stand in the way of my own life. And I am not going to stand in the own way of my blessings. I'm not blocking any blessings this year. I'm just going to take everything as it comes and yeah, just put all the good energy out into the world for 25. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a bit of a chit chat, get ready with me / try new products / talk about all the things I learned at 24. So a lot of different things in one video, but hopefully you enjoyed this because I definitely enjoy talking about this. I just know that I'm at the age where I'm constantly learning new things, and I know a lot of my subscribers are probably similar age to me, maybe even younger, so we can all go through this journey together. No one is perfect. None of us have to have everything figured out. So I'm all for going with the flow of life and taking everything as it comes, and yeah, like, not being too hard on myself. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I post videos on Mondays at 3 p.m. So please put the bell notification on so you can know whenever I post. And I hope that you're all staying safe, being graceful to yourselves, being kind to yourselves. And I will see you all at 25.